Pain. I can only remember pain. I can recall the time when Damien showed me the enjoyment of pain. I was young. I didn't fully understand it. Not right away. My mother and father, they did their best to show me what pain is. The mother was always sick and weak. It was father who knew how to open the mind and the flesh to unspeakable horrors. It was in the dark that Damien showed me how to see the world, taught me to see through all the false idols in your lives, the ones you pray to for salvation. What is our meaning? Do you have a greater understanding of life? All of that is shit. Pain. Pain matters every time. Pray to Damien. Welcome him into you. He will enlighten you. Listen to his voice, his Chronicles. The way to damnation is paved with glorious rewards. And when Damien Victor Seraph hears your voice, you will be reborn. You will endure pain and it will be glorious. Oh, praise Damien. It was just another day to me, nothing extraordinary. I have wondered often, why is it that everyone gets so excited for birthdays, when knowing that you feel, deep down in your soul, that your ending is far more fascinating. You could find me after school, in the darkest part of the library. These books can be my escape, but a well-written book can manipulate minds. As I look through the stacks, I hear a voice. It draws closer to me. My heart begins to pound hard. Faster and painfully, it feels like Damien wants to tear through my flesh. Tommy is always gloating about his father, Mr. Jacobson, always putting down others to maintain his false sense of worship. His father is praised by the townspeople. As I heard Tommy's voice grew closer, my body decided to walk away, but I only got a few steps away before I heard,
Damien, seems like the town's bastard is hiding in a storybook.
I just stare at him, looking through my long black hair. I gaze at him and say nothing. I'm allowed a moment of silence before his voice utters more garbage.
Damien, you are such a waste of space. Why don't you do everyone a favor and go kill yourself?
Tommy begins to smile and giggle. His head tilts, making the vein on his neck bulge. It is so tempting. Damien begins to thirst as we fantasize. I grip my pen firmly as Tommy's friends come over to join in the mocking. I begin to slowly smile, gazing at the boy's eyes. I let out a sound. Maybe it was a laugh. it was then that I allowed Damien to speak.
So joyful of your enjoyment of suffering, pain, and death. Tommy, I shall gift you something marvelous. After all, it's my birthday and your family should be rewarded.
I continued to smile as I walked away. The children didn't know how to respond. Always scared of the unknown. The looks on their faces are funny. It will be the same look that they will have the day they die. Tommy's father, Mr. Jacobson, pulls up his car slowly to me. He was rewarded a new sports car and named a town hero for stopping a mass shooting at our school. I saw that Tommy was not in the car. Mr. Jacobson turns down his music to speak to me.
Damien, please get in the car. I'll drive you home.
Mr. Jacobson opens the door for me. Getting in, I shut the door harder than needed. Mr. Jacobson stares at me, then rolls his eyes.
So, Damien, how's school going? Tommy says it's been the best year ever. Tom also says that Tommy may end up the prom king.
I need this man to shut up and die. I am craving someone's pain.
Damien, hello, what the hell is wrong with you?
I continue to gaze upon him. I can see his fears. No one likes me to look at them. Mr. Jacobson pulls up to my house. I can hear the mother and father fighting already. What pain will I endure tonight? I have been hungry for something new. Mr. Jacobson looks at me and places his hands on my shoulders to say,
Damien, I want you to listen. Please know that, well, I'm not sure how to say this, but no matter what happens in there, remember...
His words are making me sick. I begin to laugh, thinking about throwing up in his new car. That would be a fun gift for me. The dumb look on his face as Damien desecrates his precious trophy. I exit his vehicle and I head towards my house. My house looked like what misery feels like. Trying to sneak past my parents never works. Damien taught me to eat my pain first, before I can cause pain to others. The mother calls for me.
Damien, is that you? You are home sooner than expected. Was that Mr. Jacobson car that just drove away?
Before I could respond, Father heard what the mother asked. The name Mr. Jacobson. It would be a trigger for Father's rage.
Jennifer, it seems that you need another reminder of the rules of my house. Prepare yourself for me. I just need a few moments with Damien first. Now let's see. What shall it be? The belt or the bauble?
No need for a response. Father always knew what would be best as he wrapped the belt around his fist.
Buckle out.
Make sure always buckle out.
Father always tells me. I see in the corner of my other mother. She stares at me as she slowly closes the door. It's best she not around for what comes next. The night drew closer to midnight. I can hear Father still re-educating the mother. It seems Father understood the ways to turn pain into desires. My mouth continues to fill up with liquid iron. I drink it down slowly. Many religions practice the drinking of blood of their saviors. It would be blasphemy if I didn't drink Damien's blood. It is in these moments I'm drawn to the obituaries from newspapers. We fantasize about the pain they were allowed before their delusional beliefs are torn. It is in that very moment that true enlightenment is manipulated into righteousness. Damien would educate me, and Drew would warn me of the ones who got caught. They showed us all of those failures of the fools who were given the honor to hold titles as serial killers, martyrs, arsonists and kidnappers. It was all nonsense, a delightful way that allows your mind to cope with the delusional world you choose to blissfully live in. The day's end approaches. What will my birthday wish be this time? I'll always dream to exploring outer space, travel to worlds who need Damien's scriptures. But pain awaits us up in the universe. My body tingles with excitement as I realize what wish shall be gifted unto me. It's time. We are ready. Each of us know our roles. Damien will sharpen your mind and steady our hand. We shall lose. Andrew is the voice of compassion. Such a useful puppet he will be. 11:59 we must hurry. It is your birthday, Damien, and now you're ready for one of your own. Hear my wish.
Damon has to subject a volunteer to me.
Damien, submit yourself unto my bidding.
Mr. Jacobson, you have been blessed. Pain is coming for you.
My excitement for what I am about to embark upon motivates me. I can see all the pieces are in place. The plan is simple. Damien has prepared your body for this. I stare myself in the mirror.
From this moment forth, I will have a death to call one of my own. I'm overjoyed with the realization that Mr. Jacobson is about to experience the beginning of his end. Now, off to school, Andrew. You mustn't miss the bus today.
Jetting on the school bus, I sit staring out as the trees scream past. They blur like hanging bodies. I see their pain. A childlike giggle comes out as we go over the train tracks. Feels like driving over people. Exiting the school bus, the students stare at me. A horrific look smears their dumbfounded faces as they ponder what the hell happened to me. Before I could get close enough to enter the school, a concerned teacher approaches me.
Oh my God, look at you. We need to go to the office to call someone for help.
These memories become blurry. Only when Andrew takes over we become docile. I remember sitting in the school's office surrounded by the faculty. My father's voice. He approaches with a concerned look. Perhaps his fears of jetting caught haunts him.
Damon, what's going on? What happened? What did you say?
Mr. Jacobson, he made me touch him, and he hurt me when I didn't want to play with him in his car. He said it was my birthday present.
The room flows as if everyone just saw Damien himself. That was quite the performance in Drew. Now to fill in the pieces for the dim-witted assembly. As my father listened to my tales of my molestation, he realized that if he didn't go along with my fantasy, then the reality would be turned towards back onto him. And with father's history, it was in his best interest to play his part. The authorities arrive, the room becomes cold. The officer makes his way towards me. No turning back now. A sudden rush of adrenaline flows through my veins as the policeman escorted me out of school. Andrew cried and wept. Damien clapped and cheered. My father looks down at me, begins to smile as we drive away. I can see his rage is enjoying the possibilities of Mr. Jacobson's fall from grace. How will the mother respond? After all, a year before I was born, the mother did have a love affair with Mr. Jacobson.
In Local 10 here. Charles Jacobson stands trail for child abuse and child molestation. We go there now for more on this horrific event.
Thank you, Mr. Jacobson, for your testimony. Does defendant have any final remarks?
What words they have left to say will not reverse the damage done. We have succeeded. Do you see it? All the manipulations, the deceptions, the lies, the pain. Evidence may be thin, but my retelling of the events leading up to my molestation.
Damien, get in the car. What's wrong with you? Listen, no matter what happens, it's been the best year of Damien. Great Damien. It
was a flawless victory. Now you're beginning to have some clarity. We chose Mr. Jacobson and his family for a reason. Pride was what sparked the fall of Lucifer from heaven. Pride was considered to be the deadliest of all sins. The proud man would die for what he is worth. Do you know what happens if you take all that he is worth away? What will he pride himself with? We are skinning off of him his delusional fantasies, allowing him to feel the fire that his soul will burn in for all eternity. During court, my father and the mother also testified. It was during this time the affair that the mother and Mr. Jacobson had was discussed. Seems that Tommy was not aware of this information, nor was Tommy's mother. It was quite a scene that broke out. Mr. Jacobson's wife shouted out that I would be tested to see if Mr. Jacobson was actually my father. Andrew needs to be rewarded at how beautifully he is portraying the victim. His mind sharply listens to the words that have been thrown around him. Hearing that there wasn't enough evidence to convict Mr. Jacobson, this government and their laws will be the downfall of humanity. And then the world will see a glorious kingdom built upon the pain of the enlightened ones. They will all praise Damien's name. Do you think this chapter is over? Don't be silly. We haven't had the death yet. It's coming, it will be orgasmic. Remember Damien's gift. It was for me to have a death that I can call
one of my own.
What the hell just happened?
Running full diagnostic on Project Zeus.
We need to get Damien back online.
Almost there.
Tell me you have it!
Got it.
All your experiments on me. The gadgets you put in my brain just so you could see the inner workings of my mind. The sentence that I must endure pain. Was it for the betterment of mankind? Or was it truly all just for your amusement? I'll give you a show. It will be open your minds. The levels of pain. How Damien will change your world. What control you feel that you have over me will be your destruction. Let us not stray too far from this chronicle. One of my Mr. Jacobson. My origins. Days passed after the courtroom casted their judgment. But then it happened. Just how Andrew predicted. Even before the test results came back proving Mr. Jacobson was not my father. The people of the town casted their own judgments. They began to gossip and smear the name of Mr. Jacobson. The town hero is now the town's biggest sinner. His pride feeds on the darkness growing inside himself. Mr. Jacobson is beginning to lose control. He is feeling pain and Damien senses it. It is only a matter of time now. Andrew will show us patience during these moments as Damien begins to drool over the events yet to unfold. Mr. Jacobson's pride became obsessed with regaining his popularity. His performance at work became a concern, and soon Mr. Jacobson was asked to turn in his resignation. The corporation had a reputation to uphold and they couldn't be associated with the likes of him. Mr. Jacobson's wife, still feeling the pain of his betrayal, hears of the news of him losing his job before he could get a chance to tell her. By the time Mr. Jacobson came home, she was already gone. We could hear Mr. Jacobson screaming in pain as he reads the letter she left behind. The next day at school, everyone noticed Tommy was not there. It seems Tommy has moved away with his mother. Imagine the pain Tommy must be feeling. Breathe it in slowly. My body tingles. Days go by and Mr. Jacobson continues downward into darkness. Didn't seem like anyone in the town wanted to associate with him. Unable to find work soon, unable to pay his bills. A for sale sign appears on his lawn. As the leaves fall and the days grow shorter, the townspeople move their attention to the upcoming holidays.
October 31st, such a wonderful day.
The world seems to embrace the ideal of pain and suffering just so they can suckle on some confectionery delights.
Damien was anticipating a different kind of delight.
The children dressed up in their costumes as the adults embraced their inner taboos for the holiday. On my way to the bus stop, I see in a dirty gutter a broken black mask with long black horns. Quickly grabbing it, I place the mask in my bag. Sitting,
staring out.
Children yelling and laughing. They were all excited for the day's events. As we slow down by the train crossing, I see a dirty-looking man walking along the tracks. A train approaches as I gaze on the painful soul slogging along. My window fogs up as I lock eyes with the man. Damien smiles at Mr. Jacobson. The signal bars go down as we hear the train's horn approach. Mr. Jacobson's eyes look like a pool of darkness, void of what was once a proud hero. And in that moment, as the screams of the kids rang out throughout the town, Mr. Jacobson took his final steps. It took them a few hours to clean up the remains. Getting home, I have today's newspaper. Running into my room, I frantically cut out a piece from the obituaries. This will be my trophy.
The mental pain was flawless.
We must now seek out the bliss of causing the physical pain.
It's time to get our hands bloody.